Please be seated. Deputy Lieutenant, Your Worshipful the Mayors, distinguished guests, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Greenwich, Professor David Maguire.
Good afternoon. Gosh, did I go to the wrong place? Is there anybody there? Can we try that one again, please? Good afternoon. Thank you. Do remember, we're all here to enjoy ourselves today. This is a glorious occasion, in spite of the weather. We're going to bring a little bit of sunshine to the proceedings, I hope, and I do wish you join in as we go through and make this a very special occasion for all of our incredible students who are on this side of the chapel. Well, distinguished guests, graduands, families, friends and colleagues, as the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Greenwich, it does give me enormous pleasure to welcome you all to today's graduation ceremony. Every year, a new generation of graduates processes through the doors of this beautiful chapel, each one embarking upon an exciting future. Each generation is unique, and this makes every graduation a really wonderful occasion for all of us on the stage. It is a grand occasion to celebrate the diverse talents of all of our students who are responsible for the continuing success of our university. We are really fortunate here at the University of Greenwich to have such wonderful facilities in enviable locations. Foremost among them are the incredible buildings here at the Old Royal Naval College, described as one of the top 5 university campuses in the whole of the United Kingdom. This campus was originally designed by Sir Christopher Wren and is situated directly on top of a former royal palace where King Henry VIII and his 2 daughters, Queen Elizabeth I and Queen Mary I, were born and lived. This place has served variously as a hospital, a naval academy, and now a world-class university. Many of you may also have noticed that on a number of occasions it's been used for TV and advertising backdrops, as well as a number of very well-known Hollywood blockbuster movies. This glorious chapel is a really special place in which to host today's ceremony. It reminds us of Greenwich's long history as a seat of learning and intellectual endeavour, and we are proud to continue this rich tradition here today. We are a thriving centre of teaching, research and enterprise made up of around 38,000 students all across the world. Greenwich is a place where outstanding students with endless potential achieve extraordinary things. Our diverse academic portfolio specialises in high-quality, professionally accredited disciplines that prepare students for a world which demands employees of high academic calibre who are self-sufficient, enterprising and savvy. It is, therefore, of little surprise that the university has an outstanding employability record. Using the standard measure 6 months after graduation, over 90% of last year's graduates are in employment or pursuing further study. Our high academic standards are recognised by the government. They awarded us a silver rating in the recent Teaching Excellence Framework, an official recognition of the excellence of our teaching. I'm also very proud to say that entry standards and degree outcomes have risen once again this year, and both are now at the average for the whole of the country in terms of our benchmark against other universities. And in the recent National Survey of Students, we were ranked equal third in the whole of London. We do take exceptional pride in the diversity and inclusivity of our student and staff communities. Over 5,000 international students representing more than 170 different nationalities choose to study here at Greenwich. We've been ranked as one of the most international and most globally diverse of all universities in the world. Developing and applying knowledge through research and enterprise activities is also core to the university's work. Often undertaken in partnership with industry, charities, governments and other social organisations, the university's research activity is anchored securely in responding to societal need, thus ensuring that the results benefit all. In particular, we are highly regarded for our work in computational modelling, business, education, global food security, and pharmaceutical sciences. The University of Greenwich has a long history of success and has won many prestigious awards, including 4 Queen's Anniversary Prizes, the Queen's Award for Enterprise, 2 Guardian Newspaper Research Awards, and now 9 Times Higher Education Media Awards. In 2017, the university's Natural Resources Institute won the Global Rockefeller Foundation Innovation Challenge with a prize worth more than $500,000. The achievements of students and staff in our newly renamed Faculty of Liberal Arts and Sciences has continued to impress once again this year. The Maths Society was recently awarded Society of the Year by Greenwich Students' Union. Students and alumni from our School of Design continue to be nominated for national and international awards. And one of our students, Mariella Lezu, won the Royal Institute of British Architects Silver Sargent Award for Excellence in Drawing. Our law students continue to do pioneering work as volunteer caseworkers and undergraduate researchers, and we were very proud to host the Innocent Project London Miscarriages of Justice Symposium earlier this year. Our second and third year students from the Bathway Theatre Company performed at last year's Edinburgh Fringe Festival. They did this for the first time and earned a 4-star review for their performance. Smashfest UK, an Arts, Technology and Science Community Festival, was co-organised by staff of this faculty and was the recipient of a Times Higher Education Award for its outstanding contribution to the local community. Finally, the faculty continues to provide a platform for debate of the big issues which society faces today. It hosted a well-attended public discussion on food, the environment and future with speakers from Greenpeace, the Vegan Society, the National Farmers Union, and this featured in the Metro newspaper. Our mission to transform lives through exceptional teaching and research is at the heart of all that we do at our university. We are so very proud of those alumni who've transformed people's lives all across the world. And these include Dr. Abiy Ahmed Ali, the current standing Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Anne Packer Brightwell, an Olympic champion in 1964, Tommy Flowers, a computer pioneer and code breaker who worked at Bletchley Park during the war on the Colossus computer, Baroness Rachel Hayhoe Flint, an international cricketer and also commentator, Professor Sir Charles Cow, a Nobel Prize winner who won the award for the development of fibre optic technology, which underlies most of the world's broadband communication. I should also mention Baroness Doreen Lawrence, an equality campaigner who was a student and a member of staff at our university, and lastly, Dave Rowntree, who was the drummer in the Brit-pop band Blur. Graduands, today is your day, and you should be very, very proud of all of your achievements. Taking the next step in a world where the pace of change is quick and the future uncertain may seem like a daunting prospect. But I believe that the university has equipped you well for the next big challenge, whatever that may be. Your studies mean that you can solve problems, adapt to new situations, and thrive in an environment of uncertainty. And I, for one, have absolutely no doubt at all, that you are more than ready for whatever it is that lies ahead. As you take this next step towards your future, be confident, be proud, be caring, and above all, aim high. On behalf of everyone at the University of Greenwich, I offer you my heartfelt congratulations, and I do wish you every continuing success. Good luck.
Greenwich Students' Union Officer, John O. Smith.
Right, let's try and do this in one take, shall we? Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
And that's how it's done, David. Welcome, distinguished guests, family, friends, loved ones, and most importantly of all, welcome to you, our fantastic Greenwich students. I'd like to start by just saying how much of an honour it is to be here today, sharing this experience with you as you all graduate from our beloved university. As someone who was sat in your place just a few short days ago, I like to think I have a sense of all the emotions that you might be feeling at this point. The first that comes to mind is that overwhelming sense of pride and achievement, and quite rightly so. You've all worked very hard to be sat here today in your long gowns and odd-shaped hats, so please take today as an opportunity to reflect on all that you have achieved so far. After all, there's no need to pretend that graduating from a university is a complete walk in the park. I'm sure each one of you, just like myself, has faced some form of challenge along the way. Whether this was having to stay up all night in the library to finish an assignment, or miss an opportunity to go out with friends because you have to put that last-minute exam preparation in. But just remember, whatever challenge you had to face, large or small, you've done it. You've made it. You've all overcome those obstacles in your way to be sat here in this beautiful chapel on your graduation day. So enjoy every second of it, and use this moment. When faced with challenges in whatever it is you decide to do going forward, remember by sitting here today and reaching this point, you can achieve great things. And that you will continue to achieve great things, and you will continue to overcome obstacles in your way. I, for one, have no doubt about it. So at this point, I was umming and ahhing about whether I should put an inspirational quote or saying into my speech, but from past experience, I decided not to. But then, in true indecisive fashion, here's an inspirational quote and speech. So here, all men die, not all men truly live. Now, I'm not usually one for quotes, but this one I really like. I'm not too sure why, to be honest. Maybe in part it's because it's true. As far as I know, all men do really die. I've not been told otherwise. Or maybe it's the second part. Not all men really live. That's the bit I find really interesting. To me, it means you can make two choices. You can either live your life content with how it is and not strive for betterment, or it means you can make the second choice, to really live your life, to make the most of this one opportunity you have. Now, if you ask me which choice I think you've all made, I'd be inclined to say that I think you chose the second choice. Why? Well, because you're sat here today. You're sat in front of us, about to graduate from the University of Greenwich. To me, this shows that you haven't taken the easy way out. It shows that you're willing to work hard to really make the most of your opportunity. To me, it shows that you made huge strides towards really living your life. And now, you've made that tough decision and that second choice to come to Greenwich and to graduate today, but I hope that you continue to make that choice once you leave Greenwich, that you continue to take the second option, the option which may require more work, but will always yield greater rewards. On behalf of myself and everyone at Greenwich Students' Union, I'd like to say congratulations and we wish you the very best for your futures. Thank you.
The Pro-Chancellor of the University of Greenwich, Marianne Ishmael.
Distinguished guests, Vice-Chancellor, members of staff, ladies and gentlemen, graduates. Instead of saying good afternoon, I would like to see a huge smile on everyone's faces on this side of the room. And it's all right to smile on this side as well. So this is a really special day. I'm chair of the Board of Governors of the University, and it's my honour to congratulate you all today on this, your great achievement. I'd also like to share some thoughts with you, and I've used some of these thoughts over the years. There's three themes to what I would like to talk about. The first one is the importance of people in your life. The second one is the importance of continued learning. You've not just finished today, it's only the beginning. And the third one is a challenge, and that challenge is to be daring, whatever you do. One of my favourite sayings, which I've stolen from Eleanor Roosevelt, is, do something every day that scares you. You will learn from that. Now, I know that since you're all sitting here today about to have your degree, that you all have the courage to be daring, and you're all up for the challenge. So please give yourselves a round of applause. Like many of you here, I was the first child in my family to go to university. I was born in the far north of Scotland. You can probably tell from my accent, which I keep up every week by talking to my family who are still there. I lived for a long time in a tiny village with 200 people. And so a huge challenge for me, and the first thing I did that was really daring, was to go to Edinburgh, where there was 200,000 people, and that's where I did my degree. But I thought, though that was a huge step at the time, I'd no idea that I'd be standing here in front of you today, and I'd no idea that I would be doing what I ended up doing. In my 20s, I was very comfortable. I wasn't looking to change anything. And then out of the blue, there came an opportunity to move to New York, and I'd never been to New York, and work for a big firm called Morgan Stanley. That opportunity was to take on a business that was probably at a much higher level than I thought I was capable of. I was given no time to make up my mind. I was going to have lunch and think about it, but I was told, no, you have to decide before you leave the room. So I decided yes, before I had time to say no. And actually, it was the best thing I ever did. Why did I do it? Well, I guess I just realized at the time I couldn't not do it. But moving to New York and working in a firm that had about 20 times the employees that I had been used to, it scared me as never before, and lots of times I admit I was really quite lonely. But it challenged me and it built my confidence, and now I'm always keen to take up challenges. And I'm confident that each of you in your lives will have some opportunity which comes suddenly. You will require a huge leap out of your comfort zone to take it, but it's definitely worth taking. For a while, when you take it, you'll feel quite inadequate and feel like an imposter. I know I did, but I did ask lots of questions, and eventually I was able to feel quite comfortable among the people who initially had seemed so confident and much better than me. So change is good, and I'd encourage each of you to anticipate change and relish the next change in your lives. Our 21st century world is more global, more digitally enabled, more transparent, much faster speeds of innovation. And of course, everyone is now looking at the impact of artificial intelligence. So with all this going on, I strongly believe we all will have to be daring to be successful in whatever venture we choose. That venture may be academic, it may be charitable, it may be working in a huge organisation, or it may be setting up your own business. All of these have challenges. Where will you look to anticipate the next change in your life? And it may well be that when you have a business or you're working in a business, a lot of your time will be spent anticipating the challenges ahead, what will protect the business and what might protect you in your particular role in the business. It's important not to live with your head down. Look up, take all the information in that you can. That will help you make decisions. Of course, success comes from trying to see round corners and being open to opportunities. That shapes your future. But every one of us at some time will have to encounter failure. It's the ability to use failure to actually grow from it, and that often leads you to greater success. Don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid not to take the opportunity. I've failed countless times. There's been lots of roles that I would have liked to have had when I was interviewing that I wasn't the one chosen. And in financial services, where I worked for many years, there often are changes and redundancies. It feels horrible to feel you've failed, but it often bounces you into a new opportunity, something that will be much better for you and much better for your talents. So it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down, pick yourself up and see what the future brings. Have confidence to know that our university, with 125 years of experience, has prepared you well for a fulfilling career. But careers take courage. Are you courageous enough not to abandon what you've achieved in the past, but to build on that and add new experiences? I know you have that daring to do that. And successful people always dare to be different. Daring to be different actually builds emotional stamina, because lots of people over life will tell you that your new idea is naive or reckless or just plain stupid. Think about all the great inventions that there have been. The thinkers, the artists, the academics, the scientists have all stood alone at one time or another. Every great new invention or new thought was criticised. Everyone thought that the first motor car was foolish, and nobody believed the first airplane would fly. However, men of vision went ahead, took their courage, they fought, they suffered for it, but they won. And this week is a wonderful week to graduate. You'll remember that you graduated in the week that we're celebrating the moon landing 50 years ago. What courage and what daring these people had. And out of that came the cellular phone and also eventually the internet. Going further back than today, Gandhi was a great example. When he was called to a greater cause, something that mattered so much to him, he couldn't not do it. He said, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. He didn't say this, but I will, and the winning is great. You can have a great deal of satisfaction. So take some pleasure for a moment in celebrating the feeling of success you should have today. However, while we all think we know what success means, whether it's making a lot of money or achieving fame, success has another side, and that is sometimes we're not sure that we can do everything. You can't be successful at everything. We hear a lot of work-life balance and having it all. It's impossible, and I'm sure you all know that. It's impossible to have it all. But to arrive here today, you will already have made many sacrifices and many choices. Any vision that there is of success has to admit you have to give something up. Around us all day, there's huge, powerful messages telling us what we should want, how we should look, how we should view ourselves. I hope you will have the courage to determine what your own ideas are and make sure you own them, because that's the only way that you can actually control your life and your ambition. Enjoy what you do. Identify the things that make you come alive, that make you feel good about yourself. Use all your energy and passion, but accept it means a compromise from time to time. Turning to the second theme, one of the strongest sources of coming alive is meeting people and being part of a community. Think about how diverse your professional and personal network is. You'll need to have a diverse network in the future. Have you developed relationships with people who are very different from you? These differences can be biological or political or cultural or even physical. A huge diversified network is a huge source of problem solving. It's also a source of interest, of pleasure, and also lots of arguments in the pub. Because you have a store of people who think differently from you, that will help you build your opinions. People can make you sad, but they can also make you happy. Please take some time over the years ahead to give back to others. And you can gain so much by even giving just a smile. An author called Steve Maraboli said, when someone is hurting, dare to help them heal. When a friend falls, dare to be the first person to extend a hand. When you feel great, as I hope you all do today, dare to help someone else feel great too. All the people in this chapel today have made a huge contribution to make you happy. And it's important that we now take a moment to thank those who've loved and supported you over the years. These people have stood by you, believed in you, and kept you going. And they've an unwavering belief in your potential. John Lennon said, "Count your age by friends, not tears. Count your age by friends, not years. Count your life by smiles, not tears." I think that's important to remember. So please join me now in giving a round of applause to all those who have given you so much support. So you've come to the end of one great journey and the beginning of another. And it's very apt that the journey, your next journey, should be starting here in Greenwich, the centre of space and time, and where longitude equals 0. I know whatever you're going to do next, you're going to be successful, and your Greenwich education will empower you to ask the right questions and work out the right answers. Whatever you do next, show the same drive and commitment and the same resilience you've shown every day here in Greenwich. And I would like to add my thanks, along with that of the governing body, for all you've done to contribute to the academic and the social and the cultural life of this wonderful university. I hope that Greenwich and the people you've met here will always have a large place in your heart in the future. But turning to the last theme, enjoy continued learning. Learning keeps you young, it keeps you interested and interesting. Henry Ford wrote, "Anyone who stops learning is old, whether they're 20 or 80, and anyone who keeps learning stays young." Age is definitely no barrier. Nelson Mandela showed us that. He was 76 when he took over the presidency of South Africa. And it was Nelson Mandela who said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." He also said, "A good heart and a good head are always a formidable combination. But when you add to that a literate tongue and a pen, then you have something very special." So 3 themes: your people, your education, and your daring are the most powerful weapons that you can have to change your world. And all of us here today look forward to seeing a world shaped by you. Thank you.
Pro-Chancellor, I now call upon Dr. Zoe Pettit, Head of the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, to present to you award holders from the Faculty of Liberal Arts and Sciences.
Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you higher degree and master's degree award holders from the School of Humanities and Social Sciences. Dr. Cécile Laval will present the certificates and prizes. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, in recognition of a programme of work entitled Maritime Security Cooperation in the Gulf of Guinea, a role for cooperative sovereignty, the degree of Doctor of Philosophy is awarded to Victoria Constance Mitchell. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in recognition of a programme of work entitled The Presentation of Education in the Literature of the Modernist Period, 1890 to 1939, the degree of Doctor of Philosophy is awarded to Gwyn Llewellyn Hedwyn Jenkins. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in recognition of a programme of work entitled The Reappropriation of the Victorian in the Novels of Margaret Atwood and Angela Carter, the degree of Doctor of Philosophy is awarded to Niall James Somerville. For the degree of Master of Arts, English, Literary London, Sarah Clark. Nicola Jeanette Coke. Kim Alison de la Mare. Priscilla Masasu. Holly Nicole Matthews. For the degree of Master of Arts, Second Language Learning and Teaching, Emily Mudungu Burl.
Yes.
Maria Alejandra Joron Lopez. Tui Tai Vo. Pro-Chancellor, that concludes the list of higher degree and master degree award holders from the school. Vice-Chancellor. I have the honour to present to you first degree award holders from the School of Humanities and Social Sciences. Dr. Cécile Laval will present the certificates and prizes. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts Creative Writing, Aidan Jovina Brunt, who also receives the school prize for Best Performance, BA Hons Creative Writing, the school prize for the highest achieving student, and a full colour for services to volleyball 2018-19. Sarah Victoria Shadlova. Demante Dogelaite. Zara Noor Din. Samuel Anthony George Stephen Fuller. Joariah Musa. Jeffrey Mensah Nti. Abigail Alice O'Neill. May Sato. Annalise Seychus Sa. Ruby Alice Lizon Walker. Jasmine Terry Windsor. Josh Wood. Alice Rachel Laura Wren. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Creative Writing and English Literature, Seth Andrew Canna, who also receives the school prize for Best Creative Project, BA Hons Creative Writing. Bobby May Corleys. Nicole Grace Darville Batten. Rihanna Regina Teresa Levy Davis. Robin J. Egret. Gurkirat Singh Pawar. Jack Frederick Arthur Regan. Joshua Sotiris Short. Ben Donald Barry Stevens. Dalia Majid Zayed, who also receives a full colour for services to cheerleading 2018-19. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts Drama, Jessica Buckley. Martina Chirino. Kwok Shuen Chow. Ardit Dacey, who also receives a full colour for services to volleyball 2018-19. Maisie Hannah Hines. Yakim Krastev. Francesca Mahi. Slava Mihajlova, who also receives the school prize for Best Contribution to Drama, BA Hons Drama. Joe Allen Nichols, who also receives the school prize for Best Contribution to Technical Theatre. Serwa Atta O'Neill. Johann Ferdinand Ostereng. Lorna Panton, who also receives the school prize for Best Overall Performance, BA Hons Drama. Rihanna Tashmir Roberts Parish. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, English Language and English Language Teaching, Anab Apukar Ali. Alp Sirakli. Ross Clark. Sylvia Sulog, who also receives the school prize for Best Mature Student, English Language and English Language Teaching. Heather Llewellyn Curtis. Patricia Philippa de Oliveiro Bernardo. Lois Panzavecchia. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, English Language and Literature, Zainab Yasmin Bukhari. Elise Kerry Spence. Anna Taraskova, who also receives the school prize for Best Performance, BA Hons English Language and Literature. Claudia Vacarescu. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, English Literature, Freya Chamberlain. Louisa Davies. Ellie Georgia Louisa Groves. Lena Sophie Kostner. Anissa Lahussein. Sarah Rebecca Lawrence. Georgia Rose Mann. Carly Lauren McCormack, who also receives the School Prize for Student Community Contribution Award, BA Hons, English Literature. Hannah Milne. Jessica Sky Motion, who also receives a full colour for services to cheerleading 2018-19. Grace Newland, who also receives the School Prize for Best Dissertation and the School Prize for Best Performance, BA Hons, English Literature. Jade Nin. Ziana Noble. Yumana Khan Samiha. Chiara Scoglio. Bernadette Sabo. Grace Thompson, who also receives the School Prize for Student Community Contribution Award, BA Hons, English Literature. Dulcie May Troop. Cindy James Wade, who also receives the School Prize for Student Community Contribution Award, BA Hons, English Literature. Lydia Wheatley. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, English Literature and Creative Writing, Sarah Abdullah. Lucy Alexander. Asha Dadia Habib. Chloe Norton. Inga Rodina. Rebecca Alexandra Wells. Vice-Chancellor, that concludes the list of award holders from the Faculty of Liberal Arts and Sciences.
Vice-Chancellor, I now call upon you to confer the awards.
Graduands and staff, could you stand up, please, for this part of the ceremony? Graduands, can you stand, please? Thank you. We now come to the climax of our ceremony today for undergraduate and postgraduate students. And in a moment, I will formally award your degrees. And at that point, I do hope that everybody here will make a loud noise to celebrate this magnificent achievement. By virtue of the powers vested in me as Chair of Academic Council and Vice-Chancellor of the University of Greenwich, I confer upon all those who have been presented the title, award and honours to which you are entitled. Congratulations, you are now graduates of the University of Greenwich.
Please be seated. Pro-Chancellor, we now come to the conferment of an honorary degree of the University of Greenwich, and I call upon Chris Philpott to present to you Baroness Patricia Scotland.
Pro-Chancellor, Baroness Scotland of Astle, PCQC, is a barrister and politician who has broken one glass ceiling after another. Just listen to this list of firsts. She was the first black woman to be appointed Queen's Counsel, the youngest woman to do the same, and the youngest person to take silk since William Pitt the Younger. She was the first black woman, and again the youngest, to be appointed Deputy High Court Judge, Recorder, and Master of Middle Temple. When Gordon Brown appointed her Attorney General, she was the first woman of any background to hold the post since it was created in 1315. And she became the first woman to be elected Secretary General of the Commonwealth, a role she has filled since 2016. She is hugely proud of her achievements, but they also make her sad for being an indictment of equality. She says she is tired of being the first. Patricia Scotland was born in Dominica in 1955, the 10th of 12 siblings, all of whom have unique skills and personalities. They moved to Walthamstow when she was 2, and she attended local state schools. She experienced all too common racism and was variously advised to get a job in a supermarket and warned against studying law as a black woman. She later told a journalist, "You can either let it crush you or you can move on." However, it was a blessing, she says, to be born into a large, strong, loving and inspirational family with a brilliant father and an extraordinary mother. This was an inclusive environment where what she thought and said mattered to the whole family. Patricia's father was a great feminist who wanted the best for his daughters and, unusually for the time, encouraged them to study science. The family had limitless horizons, values that have underpinned Patricia's life. She flirted with careers in dancing and social work, but after completing her A-levels at 17, Patricia undertook a law placement. The rest is, as they say, history. She started a law degree, which she finished by the age of 20, and fell in love with law and politics, a passion that remains today. Soon after graduating with the University of London Bachelor of Laws, she was given a break by Lord Cross of Chelsea, who mentored Patricia to become a barrister at the Middle Temple, specialising in public, family and children's law. She says she was attracted to law because she wanted to make a difference. "I liked communication, I liked people, I liked articulating on behalf of others. Law seemed to be giving me all of those combinations." After taking silk, Patricia, who was a founding member of 1 Gray's Inn Square Barristers' Chambers, became head of chambers and took on a public position as a member of the Commission for Racial Equality. When New Labour formed the government in 1997, she was given a life peerage and became Baroness Scotland of Astle after the village in Oxfordshire where she lives. At the time, she wasn't entirely sure she wanted to be a baroness. She says, "I am someone who likes to do things. So I've never wanted to be. I wanted to do. And in doing things, I've ended up being someone." Being appointed to the Lords opened the way to a political career, and in 1999, she joined the government as a minister in the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. 2 years later, she became the minister responsible for civil justice and the reform of civil law, a member of the Privy Council which advises the Queen on all parliamentary business. From 2003 to 2007, Patricia was Minister for the Criminal Justice System and Law Reform and Deputy to the Home Secretary. She was responsible for major reform of the criminal justice system and also introduced the Domestic Violence Crime and Victims Act. She says of her time as Attorney General that it is one of the most awesome responsibilities to be given. You become the guardian of the public interest and the rule of law. You're the first law officer in the land to the Queen, the Parliament, the government. And you have to act independently while being in government. You have to speak truth to power. When Labour lost the 2010 election, Patricia returned to private practice at the bar. However, her outstanding skills as a leader, diplomat and reformer were not forgotten. When the member nations were called on to vote for the next Secretary-General of the Commonwealth, Baroness Scotland was the most popular candidate. She took up office in 2016, overseeing 2.4 billion people, 60% of whom are under the age of 30, in 53 member countries. She is proud of the Commonwealth, which is run by consensus and where each country is equal, no matter how small or large. She says they listen to each other and agree to focus on what joins them together. There is no imposing of will. This is a unique arrangement in this day and age, and in so many ways the Scotland family was just like a mini Commonwealth. Under Patricia's leadership, the Commonwealth family of nations is quietly making progress on some of the world's biggest issues, such as climate change, fraud and corruption, opportunities for young people, and peace. Patricia's previous honours, awards and accolades are numerous and include Channel 4 Peer of the Year and Spectator Parliamentarian of the Year. Her charitable work includes patron of the Corporate Alliance Against Domestic Violence and patron of Children and Families Across Borders, a charity dedicated to reuniting children separated from their families. Of course, Patricia Scotland has had a very special relationship with the University of Greenwich over the last 5 years, recently stepping down as our Chancellor. During this time, she has, amongst many other things, presided over graduations, award ceremonies, graduation dinners, and the opening of new buildings. She has also had a particularly close interest in the law school, including running a popular law clinic. At graduation, students and staff have been privileged to listen to her uplifting, inspirational, and humorous speeches. Patricia's powers of improvisation on such occasions are legendary, and she's been known to leave the scripted speech on her seat before giving an eloquent and gracious address without notes or prompts. Patricia Scotland could be a chancellor at any university, anywhere in the country, but she chose us. She sensed a deep affinity with Greenwich and says, "Greenwich is like me, the student body looks like me." This affinity has developed into pride and a love for the university family, which she says walks with its students to find their talent. Patricia has moved on with great sadness and is already missing us hugely. Patricia believes we've all been given a special talent and it's our job in life to find it. However, she says this talent is not given to us for ourselves, but for others. In using our talent, we should aim to leave the world in at least a state we found it, and preferably better. As her Twitter account says, "Life is for living, be the change." Patricia Scotland has certainly lived her values. She has certainly left our university in a better place through her inspirational period as Chancellor, and is in the process of doing the same for the world. It is for these reasons that we are honoured to make this award today. And now, Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour and privilege of presenting to you Baroness Scotland of Astle, PCQC, for conferment of the degree Honorary Doctor of the University, Honoris Causa.
powers vested in me as Pro-Chancellor of the University of Greenwich, I have huge pleasure in awarding you and conferring on you the degree of Honorary Doctor of the University, honoris causa. Congratulations.
Baroness Patricia Scotland.
Vice-Chancellor, Pro-Chancellor, graduands, lecturers, ladies and gentlemen. That was probably one of the most terrifying moments of my life. To have all your previous convictions read out in front of you and not be able to say anything at all. For once, I think it probably almost left me speechless, but not quite. Because I think I get to say thank you to this wonderful university for conferring upon me such a huge honour. You were absolutely right when you said, I have come to love this university. To love this university with a passion because of what it represents. And I have to tell you how hard it has been no longer to be your Chancellor. Because when I saw each and every one of you coming up, I was delighted to notice the following. Firstly, the ladies have not changed in terms of their footwear. And the gentlemen look rather startled, those of them who've worn a suit. And I think when I looked on this side of the house, which I often was privileged to do, I saw smiles that would break your heart. Because I think some of you on this side are rather stunned that they are on that side. All the hard work that got them there. And so I want to add my congratulations to each and every one of the graduands today. I remember so clearly my degree at 20, not believing that any of the things that I have now done would have been imaginable, much less possible. It's now your turn. We live in troubled and troubling times. But your energy, your wisdom, your dedication, your commitment could craft a future for us that could be so much better than anyone has yet dreamed of. So in anticipation, I want to thank you, not just for what you've done to get you here today, but I'm thanking you for all the brilliant, wonderful, courageous things that you are going to do to make our world a better place. And I want you to remember that thank you on the dark days when you're thinking, why on earth am I doing this, and which idiot thought I should? I want you to remember that the Secretary-General, on behalf of 2.4 billion people in the world, said thank you in advance. And for all of those on this side of the room, I really want to thank you too for getting them here, because I know that I would not be here without the love, the friendship, and the fellowship that has come from my family and my friends. And so the day is as much yours as it is theirs. The Commonwealth belongs to all of us, and actually, as I was looking at all of them, I still feel a little bit of them. They're still mine. But so are you. And so I thank you very, very warmly for this degree, which I promise you, treasure.
Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, Honorary Graduate, distinguished guests. That completes this afternoon's presentation of successful award holders of the University of Greenwich. Would guests please remain seated until the processions have left the chapel and await instructions from stewards? Thank you.